be doing a 3x3 matrix tournament, and I need to click some buttons. Let's see. How do we get chat? Okay, there we go. We got one of the buttons. All right, buttons are good. So this is like a draft format. My teammate B6 is hosting. The gist is we each pick factions, and then we each ban 4. So everybody picks 3 factions, and that results in 9 possible matchups, like each of your 3 against each of their 3. And then each player bans the 4 matchups they like the least, which results in the most fair matchup being played, and then we play it. I think I'm gonna like moderately try hard today. Like I'm gonna be trying to experiment and practice some stuff that I need reps on. But we're also gonna go hard in the paint, try to win, get a dub. So I think we'll like, max effort in the games, but mess around a fair amount with the builds. And the range of things that we're messing around with is like stuff that we think could work. So, it's all possibly viable, but not necessarily like known to be good. One of the things I'm kind of interested in today, I feel like Kislev armored Kossars are still pretty good. And I haven't been seeing them that much actually. I don't know exactly why. I think it's because Cav got buffed, and some of the like good Kislev players right now, like Anticity, really like to play like SE kite mobility styles. So that's kind of like pushed the amount of Cav use down, or the amount of armored Kossar use down. Ooh, horse waking up, got some coffee. So I think that's why you've been seeing less. It's like nothing about the unit and more about like players who are good right now have been choosing to do other things. But they're probably still pound for pound like the best unit in the game at this price point. So I'm interested in giving them a shot and like seeing how they do. It's just got great stats, like 3240 is pretty Chaos Warrior looking, but they cost almost nothing, have good armor, and then their shooting puts them really over the top. Like let's actually see. So I think the Chaos Warriors have a pretty similar stat line, and they just cost more, and are a little bit better in melee. But getting ranged attacks is like such a huge add-on in terms of total. Let's see. So for 750, you get 36, 34, 36, and a bit more health and armor. And then, so these cost 50 less, which is not insignificant. Worse stats, but not like terribly worse. And shooting, yeah, like a pretty good missile. So all in all, I think pound for pound, pretty close to the best in class. And I suspect if we just like grab a bunch of these, it's generally going to work out pretty well. Let's see how the tournament post is going. I think B6 is going to get this started in a moment. So we've got over in Turin's Discord, tournament chat. Round 1 is up. Very nice. Okay, who are we playing against? So we've got Mersey Yushka. And who's playing? So we got a bunch of RTKs in here. Blood Penguin, Maximilianaire. Oh, this is a pretty stacked event. Okay. We got some gamers today. Like, there's a lot of people who have been in like top 4s and 8s of Worlds. Blood Penguin's like probably the best or second best Empire player. Charks is like a top 4 player. Should be a pretty good day. Always love to see like some nice competitive games. All right. Murziaki, where are you? Find your opponent. Hey. BC on duo. They said we're up. Are we up? I was trying to figure out, they said some words in chat that I don't understand. Mersey Yushka. At Mersey. I see they're new. I see. Okay. Well, let's try some speculative stuff. keep it competitive if we can. I think I might also do the thing where we draft, and then instead of banning, we just tell them, you pick the matchup. And it's a good way to get the game closer. And also, just telling our opponent about how this works. Got to be welcoming to new players. They were saying that they haven't done any of these tournaments before, so they're kind of like figuring this out. How does this one actually work? Are the bans global? I guess we'll find out. It doesn't really matter. And we're playing on... Oh, do we ban maps? Tiebreakers. So these 3 maps... I guess each player bans a map. It wasn't actually specified. We each ban 1 of these and play the last after picks. Okay, cool. The 3x3 is really good for producing even interesting games, and it's extremely unfriendly to new players. It's like kind of complicated. So it takes a second. Oh no. Oh no. I messed it up. Okay, we're back in. We're back in. I think you need to join as host since you're top bracket. Oh, this we'll do something interesting. Got to keep it competitive. I wonder what. I'm kind of feeling like elite ogre cav or like middle tier ogre cav, so I'll probably take ogres. What's banned? War shrines, doom bolts, ice wolves limit 2. Interesting. So this guy is saying he was playing with a friend and they're intimidated by the clan tag. So he might need to surrender. All right. We succeeded in intimidating them. Maybe I'll find a practice match for between. The water is not warm. The water is cold and scary. All right. This is too complicated. I'm gonna go find some funsy matches. And one sec. All right. Well, okay. So they're conceding. We got the the own goal causes terror effect. Ooga booga 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 booga. I need to do that against Inticity. How can I just intimidate Inticity into conceding? I don't know what we put down here. I don't know. We'll just say it's a mirror, I guess. Green skins. Green skins. Okay. Well, let's find somebody to play. I think I can do a quick VL. Or alternately, we'll get somebody from RTK to do a battle. Calahim, find matches at Domination. Add round 1. Tourney. Opponent. Terror. Concede. Anyone want to play one? And then if VL and that don't pop, we'll jump in quick battles real quick. Maybe we'll just 4-0 on the fear effect. Too spooky. Too spooky. Or here's what we can do. I'll pop in RTK practice Discord, and I'll restream the B6 versus boss. There we go. And then if we get a match, we'll play that and cast that. Although one problem with this strategy is, I guess we just need to check periodically if Vermin League pops. Cool. See if somebody pops up in find matches. I didn't have that on my bingo card for today. Okay, so it looks like we've got a Beastman Greenskins game here. Oh, they're still figuring out their matchup, I see. Maybe I'll see if I can get a spec slot. Yeah, let's get you all a spec slot. Ask boss toss. All right. Yeah, I'm seeing if I can get a spec slot in boss toss B6 game. We'll probably just go fight some random lobby games otherwise. All right, boss toss is getting us in, so we'll get a game. Good stuff. Good stuff. Always count on the teammates. I feel like our opponent might have been kind of young. They were like duo streaming with a buddy, and the buddy was like, "Oh, he's got a clan tag. I can't fight. I can't fight," which kind of gives me the vibe of like your middle school gamers, which I remember those times. That was a really fun time. I was actually playing Rome 2 back then. Giving away the age a bit. You're like, dude, he's gonna kill us. We're gonna die. We can't fight him, dude. Oh, B6 is messaging me. Okay, cool. All right. We're cooking. We're cooking. Oh, shit. How do I? All right. Which game? How do I determine? I think this is it. Nice. All right, so we got the mighty boss toss, the Canadian destroyer, up against. Oh, here, there's no dogs here. Turn off dog cam. Up against B6, a known rat main and scoundrel. We're playing a 3x3. We're trying to win. Round 1, our opponent freaked out and conceded. So we're casting boss versus B6 and some Greenskins Beastman action, it looks like, which I like. It's an interesting, pretty dynamic matchup. It comes up a lot in top tier play. RTK loves Greenskins, and I think they're like a decent but not great faction that tends to lose to the top tier factions. So you'll see RTK players ending up in this matchup like all the time. And to be honest, I think at max competitive level, we do lose quite a bit doing this. So there's that. I like having more shooting in these kinds of melee mirrors. Like not too. It's a little bit of a game where like if you have more ranged infantry than them and outpoke them, you get a good positional advantage. But if you go too deep, they're able to just overrun you. Um, oh, is Beastman interesting? Greenskins does have a lot of play. I kind of like just like a good front line for the Beastmen of like Bestigors, and then you try to win the mobility fight. Interesting. You guys like the Greenskin side. I've been finding at like really high level play that the Beastman side has a lot of play. They're faster, and the axes are so good into the Greenskins cav. And then they also can kind of play a kite game where, while their ranged inf is weaker, they're pretty good at picking like an isolated target. So they lose like the early engage, but then they do pretty well in the mobility fight later. And they've got some stuff they can do, like bringing big SEs. But I can see it. I don't hate it as Greenskins. Greenskins has good cav. I think Beastman has to take a better front line. Like if they're losing the front line, it's pretty awkward. So that's a key element. Okay, so what do we got going here? B6 has most of a build. I don't hate it. This is like a pretty reasonable plan. Except for the spend. This is a crime. Needs to just tick that up on one of these raiders. I'm upset by the spend. Yeah, besties or Gore Herd also do it. Just like something strong to play the front line. Because if you just send like Ungors, big guns and boys will wax them, and then you need to fight against their cav with their infantry. So I think it's important to be able to like hang on the front line. I'm not in love with the Great Shaman here from the Greenskin side. It's very mobile, but it just like the Wyvern is a bit overcosted, so it doesn't quite do what you would hope. Otherwise, I like more or less like the rest of what he's doing. I think the Savage are a little weaker than the armored big gun cav, so I'd like to see more of those. Oh yeah, getting onto the archers. I can see it, Tom. It helps if you can kind of play some positioning games before they engage, so that they're not able to get good shots on your inf. You gotta like pincer attacks and getting on the flanks help a lot, so they don't just get like full cone of fire. When they're in those like pike and shot shooting heavy builds, going up the middle will definitely result in losing. But you can kind of play the flanks and like try to overwhelm their cav with spells and doom bulls and gorbulls in your own cav. The Sentis lose 1v1 against the Greenskins cav, but they're so fast and their perfect vigor gives you a lot of play. I do think you need axes though. The axes are a lot of why Beastman can hang, because late game the axes are very, very good into the Greenskins slower cav. Yeah. The fermented fungi is very scary. It helps that the Lord is kind of overpriced, so like when they take him, they're down a bit. So like, you know, they're gonna get a rampage on something, and they're gonna get some value on it, but that's okay. You can sort of play around it. Like the spot range is longer than the cast range. Yeah, they do out skirmish. The way a winning beast plan usually looks is you like you dive in and you trade off and you're like a little bit down, but not too far down on the initial engage. And then you win the late game with better reinforcements. So you need to be able to like find a dive on them where you don't lose by too much. And then if you can do that, it's very winnable. Yeah, I can see if I can get the matchup. There's a lot of RDKs in the tournament, so I'll maybe seek it out. It's pretty winnable. There's like a lot of play to it. It's a cool matchup. Depending on what lords they take, also, I guess that's a cool thing about the Wyvern. It's not going to get caught out by the Beastman SEs. But the Beastmen have like the best goon squads in the game, so they're pretty good at landing on SEs and taking them out. Oh, let's update our record. Fastest 1-0 in the West over here. Okay, so they're deploying in on Norskin Rise. Pretty standard deploys. This map's very choky. So a lot of the time, it'll disproportionately reward whoever can set up in like a better defensive position and get more shooting off. Like if you're like this, their cav charges around the side are pretty weak. You can do like this, and then you have your vanguard and base reinforcing, and then the impassable terrain over here. Ooh, welcome to Sleepy Stream. Gonna have to have some more coffee. We've got a 13-week-old puppy, so he's been depriving me of all sleep and providing very much joy. He's a good boy. I'll ask the wife if he can dispatch him. Can you send me puppy? I've summoned the puppy. You guys, we'll see if we get a surprise visitor. He's a good boy. He's already like 26 pounds. Because he's a Borzoi. It's probably going to be like 105. He's like big for the breed when he's fully grown. So he's going from like 20 pounds when we got him at 3 months to 60 pounds at 6 months, which is pretty funny in practice because he gets these like very long, skinny legs, and then he doesn't really know how to use them. So he's like tripping and face planting all the time. It's a very sweet dog. Okay, so we've got Mr. B6 here deploying in ye old pike and shot formation, doing like a line form for the Unger Raiders so they trade better. Over here, the Greenskins have also taken like a pretty pike and shotty form with like their higher effective health to DPS ratio, so like their tankier stuff in front, and then their damage dealers, the big guns on the back line. So I like that choice of deploy. And then he's also keeping the rusty arrows like far back because they're very squishy and they're good damage dealers. So I think this is like a pretty heads up deploy. He's also gone for Here We Go and Brain Bursta. Interesting. I think Edbud is actually probably a little better on the poke, but I'm very curious to see how Brain Bursta does. It got buffed, I think, on the last patch, so it's like a reasonably long range. Yeah, the middle of the night bathroom runs definitely just put me to sleep. It's every like 45 minutes. He's like, it is time, humans. He also loves outside. Okay, so we've got the Wyvern coming up on the flanks, looking for some good shots. The Doombolt positioned out in front to get good picks on things. And then it looks like we have, interestingly, a Mantle of Gorok caster along with Traderkin. So I think the idea is to put this on like a Savage Orc engage. That's kind of cool tech from B6. Actually, they keep buffing this spell. This is a lot for the price. I can sort of see it. It's short. It's pretty embarrassing compared to the Greenskins one of these that's like 24, 25 for 4 WOM and no minus armor. But I can see that 50% weapon strength actually working out. Okay, so we've got B6 squaring up, just trying to take like a nice defensive form, which is pretty reasonable. Neither player wants to take the offense here. Somebody should be poking harder, and it looks like Bastos is going to go for that. Generally, like, one person is making a mistake if there's not like a massive amount of poke going on, because somebody is more shooty than the other, and that player should be like using as much time and space to get poke off as they can. Looks like B6 has decided that they want to have like a little bit more mass out before they take the engage. Oi. I'm going to get some coffee after this game. So they back off to avoid getting too much poke. They get a little bit of cav summoned, which I like. I think the Razor Gores are really good counter-engaging cav. So, like, if the Greenskins cav dives the Beastman backline, these things can just, like, wreak havoc when they countercharge. They're not, like, the toughest, but they absolutely do a lot of damage. And it looks like the game's lagging. I might actually drop because this is like really bad lag, and we gotta yeah. I want to let them like play the game, so we'll give it like 15 seconds, and then I'll probably drop if it's continuing to lag. So let's just see how the engage goes, because like the initial engage is usually decisive. So the Beastmen look for a good spot. B6 will be wanting to get good matchups for these Gore herds. So like Gore Herd on Boy is good. Gore Herd on Big Gun is not. Or at least it's like not as good as the other ones. So ideally what you would do is like use the mass and the chaff to screen off the big guns, while these clean through like the lower tier infantry. So the other piece that matters a lot here is like who's able to get good trades with their ranged. Oh, I like this here. So going in for a cav charge against the unbraced infantry. So you can just get in and like absolutely, oof, that was a great hit from Boss Toss. So you get a big chunk off, you roll out, so you're not getting countercharged by the Razor Gores. Very, very heads up play. Although now the Razor Gores are on their counter engage duty. I think because Boss Toss was microing this cav, he'll probably be able to get it out. But these Razor Gores have been buffed up by Mantle of Gorok and are going in for the rear charge. Boss Toss doesn't want that smoke, so he gets his elite cav out and he focus fires the piggies with his bows. Pretty good play by Boss Toss. And you can see he's up to a pretty good lead there from that like big initial cav charge and getting better range trading. So overall, really clean. I like the execution on this. And now the piggies are going to start losing their buff, and I think he can get like a counter charge with these or a fight with spear support back behind his lines. So pretty smart. This is what we expect from your top tier Canadian players. Looks like we've got a Traderkin going down on the Lord and a little bit of a catch from the Doom Bowl, so that's going to do really good damage. The Doom Bowl will just eviscerate the Wyvern 1v1, and some Great Weapon Sentis coming in, which also should trade pretty well. So that's like a bit of counterplay there, putting the game really even. Also, a bit of a catch here, very nice, able to catch one of the arrows, and then the other one isn't in good shooting position. So it's really important for Boss Toss here that he gets good damage out of these archers. So he's got to get them back and into a position where they're able to DPS, but not so far forward that they get caught. And the Greenskins frontline is actually kind of crumpling here. Pretty nice play on that initial dive from B6. The only thing he probably could have done better is provide some mass to back up his backline. He's starting to fall behind, and he's also like very close to the Greenskin spawn. So B6 is at risk here of getting ground out in like a protracted engage as the Greenskins get summoning advantage, but we're really close to breaking the Greenskins line around these archers. And you don't really want to see Cav like holding them off of your archers. You want to like have these big guns get in and get the archers like back out here in a better pocket where they can just fully shoot unobstructed. So still pretty close with like a slight damage lead to the Greenskins. The Beastmen are going to have to break through and get pretty good damage to win this game, because now they're so committed, and they weren't able to go for a 3 cap, which means that there's plenty of time for the Greenskins to take advantage of their positioning. Bit of a blob here. I think an Edbutt would just be crazy. Like that's a whole lot of value of Beastmen stacked up on just the one cav. The archers are up again, although there's no infantry here to hold. The big guns can probably do pretty good work there, and eviscerating these black orcs, I think with a little bit of help from the Days and the Slaughterer's Call on the Lord, just roiding up these Gore Herd. Oh, you'd love to see it. Look at this thing. It's just jacked. 47 plus 5 BVA. So you've got your middle tier infantry cleaving through your elite infantry. And there's a whole lot of cav here coming in from the Greenskins, but the cav are not going to trade that well into this wall of Beastmen infantry, supported by some Beastmen mass. I think a big deal here is going to be seeing if we can get another good Traderkin or two. The cav are going to kind of be forced to blob to protect these ranged infantry, and that'll create situations like this one where the Lord is sitting on top of some mobility and is exposed to Traderkin. You'd like to see the Doom Bowl get in here. It provides minus 10 MD with Dazed, and then it also provides the Slaughterer's Call buff to everything near it. And the Greenskins don't really have great blob punish, so a Doom Bowl sitting on top of some supporting units is just absolutely horrifying. And we've got a Tuskgore Chariot here. I love this unit. It's really powerful. Can absolutely cleave through infantry. And is pretty strong when supported by other forms of mass. So B6 actually pulling ahead significantly on the damage value from having a pretty good engage and following it up. I think that the front line folding so fast for the Greenskins was like a pretty big issue this game. From this position, I'd also really like to see B6 just like summon one backline infantry here or from the Vanguard up here and go take out this spear, since this will lose to anything, especially an Orc Boy. And if they're able to capture all 3 points, that'll put them in a position where they don't need to be that far ahead against the Greenskins to win. And they are in a little bit of danger here, fighting this close to the spawn, where like while they're trading good with their superior units, they can definitely get behind from the Greenskins picking off things, and then allow the Greenskins to like kind of pull back into the game. And one thing about the Beastmen is like once their front line starts to rout, they have a lot of soft units like these Ungor Raiders. And the piggies, the Razor Gores, really don't trade that well against Greenskins Cav on the open battlefield. So there's always going to be like a little bit of risk of getting the game flipped back and overrun. And unlike the Greenskins, where they've got terror from this Wyvern, there's no terror on the Beastman side. And so they're also going to perform a little bit less well in these like protracted, slow engages, where the leadership value from routing stuff off is going to effectively be like a persistent health debuff on all the important units on the Greenskin side, or on the Beastman side are going to rout, and for the Greenskins in favor of, they're going to rout. The Corngores also are a really scary reinforcement. This is like one of the things that Beastman does best, where Corngores and Sentis together can cover almost any kind of reinforcing unit, and so that puts like a. It's very difficult if you're behind against the Beastmen to come back and win. Because of that, like they have this fast reinforcing infantry that'll beat most of your cav, and then they have this fast cav that will be able to cycle charge down most of your infantry. And those two things together, they can also deal with SEs. So that means that you like kind of want to be up against the Beastmen whenever you can, so that they're not able to tempo you out with these, and you have a little bit more time to use missile units to trade and bring in infantry to fight against the Corngores so that you can actually like take care of them. So B6 pulling further ahead. It looks actually pretty good for the Beastmen. In these kinds of late game situations, the Doom Bull is just an absolute terror because this aura is so powerful, and the leadership actually really matters in like a grindy late game situation. I think Boss Toss might be realizing that they're behind and they need to get like a pick or something. But you know, the Skirm Cav is a little late for them. Like this is not the situation where they perform, where you've got sort of like tattered lines and not a lot of time. You want to get them out early and have them empty their ammo and provide space control, and then slowly trade up and maybe unsummon or like, you know, do a bunch of cycle charging with low health. In these kinds of late game situations, oh, here we go. Here we go. So the Doom Bull has an incredible charge animation. And if properly microed, oh no, he got the knockdown on it. If properly microed, it can be really sticky, like once it gets on something, but that's pretty funny. The Wyvern, I guess, has enough mass and size class to get a knockdown. So instead of aggroing on to the Wyvern and like sticking to it, the Doom Bull got knocked over and now needs to go pick another target. That was pretty close. Like if he got a piece of that with Corngore support, it would have just torn up the Wyvern. Okay, so he's got a self buff on the Wyvern. It's not really doing a whole lot. Savage Charms is like kind of okay, but meh here. The Beastmen are effectively holding. I guess there's no axes on the Beastmen side. The axes can really make a pretty big difference against the late game Greenskins Cav. It looks good though, you know, like they've got a solid 1.4k gold lead. I'd really like to see a summon of like a Bestigor, or even just like a regular non-spear Gore Herd, Ungor Herd, and have it go take this side objective. Because I think at the second where he takes this side objective, the game is completely over. And it shouldn't be too hard to do. / it'll force the Greenskins to summon some kind of mobility to go reinforce. But it looks like he prefers to protect the Ungors, which is hard to argue with. So he's summoning more infantry in there. And the Skirm Cav of the Greenskins are just not quite cutting it in this situation. They're a little too slow when your opponent has a 2-cap and is already up a whole lot. So B6 playing a methodical, very clean game, and getting the win. I like to see that. That was well done. So there you go, Tom. B6 got a pretty good initial engage and then was able to just like ride that with superior reinforcements to the dub, which is like about what we talked about. I'm curious how the Razor Gores actually did great here. That's really interesting. Just bringing those in as like counter engagers and counter mass. And the Savage Orc Shaman really betrayed the Greenskins here. Just did not do work. The Orc Boys and Goblins got torn up. And then the other units actually did okay. So effectively, the Greenskins frontline got rolled, and then it was pretty bad for them for the rest of the game. And their range units just didn't get quite enough damage. Oh, that was a good one. I'm glad the leg went away as we got like a little further into that game. Okay, let's see how we're doing on the bracket. I'll probably... let's see. Okay, so we've got 2 games left. Just talking to somebody who queued on VL. Yeah, the Razor Gores are pretty good. They do get murked in like the heads up trade, so you kind of have to use them how B6 was there, where they're like playing kind of cagey and finding Greenskin's Cav that's already engaged, and then getting the engage on it after that. I think he was also buffing them, which I probably wouldn't spend the buffs on. So just talking to an opponent. All right, we explained the situation. Cool. Yeah, the Iceman, I like the Arachnarok. I actually like the Arachnarok Lord a lot. Everyone gives me shit for this, but it frequently does well for me. It's just like the Greenskins Lords are kind of pricey, and it's one of the cheapest packages where you can get like Terror and a good statted body. So it can be pretty good. And it looks like our VL opponent wants to do a draft. So we'll set that up and then we'll play after the next round. Cool. We are explaining the draft format. Cool. So we'll just get this queued up for after the next round. Yeah. Arachnaroks are not bad. They fixed their fucked up animations recently. I guess I'll be on the Chawi. I don't know. So now they have like okay stats. It's like not a great unit, but they're fast enough. They're pretty tanky. They have terror. I mostly only like it if you're taking it on the caster lord, since it's just like a pretty gold efficient way to get them, or in niche applications, like if you're worried about Kislev blobbing up. Yeah, the terror helps a lot. I completely agree. Okay, so we got Skaven. What map are we on? The bot says we're on Haunted Vale. That's a pretty good Skaven map. I kind of feel like playing some Count. And what do we want to play? Some Beastmen. Yeah. Interesting. I'll have to try the Flinger more. I'm very curious how that is. So we'll get this pick and ban done. This is just for like a Vermin League match. And then we'll do that between rounds, so we have like we have something to do. All right. Kislev, Skaven on Haunted Vale. What do we want to do here? I would like to practice. What do I want to play? Deep thinkies. Well, let's do some lizards. I like lizards. Lizards are fun. Skaven is good against lizards, but that's fine. We're just playing what we want to play. Oh yeah, what else? What else actually would be a good pick here? I'm mostly picking for Vermin League. I'm mostly picking on vibes because our opponent is new. just like stuff that has units that I want to test. Um, although it's funny, sometimes people smurf. They're like, "Oh, I'm telling you," they just break out the steel chair. Each, oops. I'll let them know. You can swap TZ for your preferred pick if you want. BC, Beastmen, Lizards, Skaven, Kislev, you ban 1, then me 2. I'll just actually pull this over so you all can see the draft. It's cool to see new folks. They take like a little longer to draft. This person's been a good sport too, because we got distracted after we got paired, and they're still kind of just like wanting to play. I respect that. All right. Yeah, Skaven VC is cursed. These others are fine. To be honest, all of these are fine. I guess I'll ban Zinch against. I'm trying to get more interactive matchups if I can, where I can't get like polarized between Essie and Changebringer Cheese because opponent is new. So we want to have a little more fun and not play roulette quite as much. Oh, guys, I gotta get coffee in a second. Oh, I've got the puppy tired's. Good boy. I'll play some Wood Elves in the tournament if we can. Definitely. All right. BRB, everybody. BRB. Got to tell you what we're doing. You can kite them and you can try to out melee them, basically. Both of those kind of work. Okay, so we've got Skaven Beastman. Let's just ban the Skaven. I want to play more with Kislev. Let's ban both SK matchups. All right, be right back. Get a coffee refill. All right, here we are. We got our espresso. We got our protein chocolate milk. Life is good. Let's see how the tournament is progressing. It'll be funny if we have time to do this whole VL match. Ulrich. Ulrich. Okay. Lizardman Chaos. Okay, so we're going to play Beastman. Cool. Well, Tom, I guess we'll get to see. Yeah, Max, I just can't be bothered. I'm on too many Discords. And they keep going. There's so many. I probably should mute the ones that I never read. I don't have friends, Rogue. It's very simple. I just have Total War. No, most of my friend chats are on Signal and WhatsApp, not Discord. When did we last talk? A Rogue AI, where is? Oh, a while ago. Top 20, though. Top 20. All right, Mr. Ulrich. You can press read all. Oh. Where does it say 2K unread? Where even is the... Oh, on the tourny. I see. How do I mark as read? Oh, cool. Cool. All is well. The messages are lost in the sands of time. Thank you, chat, for teaching me something today. Yeah, I do that with my my corporate, like my day job Slack. I have to read everything or it upsets me. With Discord, the rate is just like too high. I wonder if Ulrich forgot to report. Ulrich. Remember to report. That's some Russian internet right there. We got the 50-minute round one. That's pretty good. It's like Costco Dairy Gold protein milk. Nice way to get like a little bit more. Not bad. I need to keep my blood sugar up or I like pass out too. So I kind of want to try Kislev like old style with just a fuck ton of armored Kossars. So maybe I'll probably aggressively pick them. Just something like this. Used to be such a problem for people. And I don't really think it's fallen off or anything. The Kossar spears maybe we don't want, so maybe just like 4 ACOS. The Strelts and Ice Guard are also appealing to me. Oh yeah. It's all good. Round one is round one. Like, you know, sometimes it just kind of takes people a while to get in the groove. The other thing that is very interesting to me is apparently some of the Hag stuff is actually kind of all right. I don't know if Astankia quite is cutting it. This is the problem, like the caster that we would take in order to get access to this lore is just so overpriced. Like, I don't really want to pay 1,000 for this SE Chariot or 1,400 for this. I guess we can take the Spirit Bearer. It's still fine. Goliath doesn't seem playable. This lore is actually pretty interesting. Since they... So does this mean your whole army gets spell resist? So you can, like... you can like wait until they. I need to try this. You can like wait until they cast, and then you can turn off. So the other one just seems unplayable. 1,000 is too much for the caster, but this is interesting. So we can we just wait until our opponents cast stuff, and then we just automatically get like a full block on it? That's pretty interesting to me. The Intensity SE spam, a classic. I have a hard time bringing those builds. They feel like kind of uninteresting to me. Oh, nice. We're up against Martin. Cool. Okay, I do want to check out this Laura the Hag thing real quick. Okay, so we got Vengeance. The Overcast makes it... Oh, yeah, this Laura is so crazy. So this gives us like a 60%... Oh my god. Wait, so this actually is like... They buffed this? Damage to self. But 60 spell mastery is not fucking around. So what if we go like... What happens if we cast like one of these damage spells? I'm just trying to find one that combos well with that. And then while it's ticking, we pop the... This heal is also like kind of respectable, honestly. Witch broth. While it's ticking, we pop the this doesn't do it. Huh. Oh, so we don't have like a good dot that we can abuse with this, unfortunately. So it would need to be like Vengeance of Spirits, I guess. How much? So they made this like a flock. Oh, but it'll put itself on cooldown. So I don't think there's a way to abuse Omen unless we did it with Cursed Cauldron, but Cauldron probably already needs to be like one-shotting a unit to be worth it. Isn't there a Rampage spell? Silence. Isn't there? I don't know. Huh. Oh, there it is. So this can target... It buffs them and it rampages. That's interesting. I don't know if that's... Oh, no, it debuffs. Interesting. So this is just a rampage, but it's also a pretty significant debuff. 15 seconds is not that long. Huh. That's pretty interesting, though. I'm really only interested in Witch Brew, I think. This is actually like a pretty nice rate for what this is doing. And then maybe this is okay. We'll go play our match. Hey, hey. We shall fight Mr. Martin. All right, we got our preset. We are bottom bracket. Map choices are these. Martin is an addict for walk. I'm gonna give him his walk because I want to practice. So I'd like to see like his best. We'll ban something irrelevant like Brett. Looks like I'm bottom bracket. And these are our maps. Blazing Ramparts, Isle Colony Roads. These are pretty good, like neutral-ish maps. Wait for Martin. I can try some Wood Elves, although because Martin's like a walk stand, we probably don't want to take Wood Elves. What's good against walk right now? Stats. Warriors of Chaos. Brett, that's interesting. Skaven. I doubt this. This is like Charix is good at the game. I like how you can get tricked in these small communities. Because there's like individual players who are just like really good. So you're like, oh my god, Skaven hard counter walk. Look at it. Maybe we'll try the Skaven, though. That does seem fun to me. Yeah, I guess I'll ban Brett. I don't know. Yeah, I want to play Kislev, so I'll take Kislev. Oh, he bans my ogres. Rude. Rude. Let's see what he does. Martin's probably going to take like 3 good melee factions. Maybe he'll lead on Beastmen. Slanesh, yep, that's a Martin pick. Let's try out Kislev. And I guess I'll take Beastmen as a deterrent. I don't actually want to play Beastmen that much. They're fun and they're very good, but I already know how to play them so well. But taking a like high tier pick like this can work pretty well to let them play against your lower tier picks that you actually want to play. Greenskins, huh? The skin greens. No walk pick. I have some wood elf stuff I kind of want to try actually. Tomb Kings would just like rock what he's up to, I'm pretty sure. But we'll do what else. Yep, there's the walk. So we're gonna need to ban the walk. All right, let's get our matrix. Get our bans up. All right, what do we ban here, chat? We've got Kislev, Beastman, Wood Elves, and he's got Slanesh, Greenskin Walk, his ban first. I don't think I love Wood Elves Walk, and I'm kind of fine with the rest of these, to be perfectly honest. I'd like to play Kislev into Greenskins or Slanesh, I think, just to like get the reps. Okay, he bans Slanesh, Beastman, Walk, Wood Elves. And I don't know, these are all fine. And SL Chaos, I guess. I don't know. Oh, we have a visitor. We have a special visitor. Thank you, madam. Oh, guys, look. It's a puppy. It's a puppy. Oh, hi, Goose. You're here to help us with draft. We have big corn dog brain here. Massive corn dog brain. Oh, come here, my love. Oh, there's good. He's going to start chewing me momentarily. He's got the hiccups. Hello, creature. This dog is such a baby. My creature. Yes. Hi. Draft MVP. Borzoi. He's Kislev themed. I don't think there's any dogs on the Kislev roster, is there? Yar. He's a very needy boy. Always wants attention. He's 13 weeks old, so he's going to be 3 times this size in like 8 months. And probably still a lapdog. Well, hard to say. I wonder if we can like play with him on our lap. Yes. Yes, Hubs. There's a good boy. There's a good boy. Oh, yes. God. Oh, yeah. They're kind of lazy, although as a puppy, he's like got good energy. Yeah, the things are kind of dogs. We could take some of those to be thematic. He's chewing his foot. Is that a yummy foot, buddy? You know, if you chew that foot too hard, it hurts. Okay, so he banned Slanesh, Wood Elves, and Walk Kislev. Makes sense. I will allow the Greenskins Kislev. God. Dog doesn't want me to use my hand. Slanesh, Wood Elves, and Greenskins Wood Elves. Yeah, he definitely. Okay, here you go, puppy. Here you go. Here you go. Maybe he'll post up here. We can turn on our puppy cam. Oh, there he goes. We're boring, chat. We're boring. I played with that guy a couple hours this morning. He's a crazy boy. Okay, so we got Slanesh, Wood Elves, and Greenskins Wood Elves. Yep, seems reasonable. Let's ban the BM matchups because we want to play Kislev. We could definitely just like crush him in one of those. But that's not what we're trying to do today in the picks. We're trying to practice. And let's see, did Martin host a lobby? I don't think he did. Martin. Invite our teammate Martin. He wants to play walk. Makes sense. I see the rationale. So what do we do against our walk opponents? I was kind of tempted to try to make this work, but I don't think it's quite cutting it against the kinds of stuff he can bring. Because Archie chops it so hard. Oh, and we gotta pick the map. Let's see if we have a. So he bans Blazing Ramparts. I'll ban Road to Talib. Fine. So we're playing on Eastern Isle Colony, which is a pretty good defensive map. Eastern. We have to be mindful of his Hell Cannon potential. That's always a little scary. I think they buffed the Drazunia. This ability is pretty good. Let's do something unconventional, maybe. I'm a little tempted by, like... How good is Blood Shard? Each kill by the unit? So it's going to be difficult to actually get any feasible number of kills on this. So that's not what we want. This, like, doesn't match up that well against Archie because he's faster than it. So I guess we can't take it here. I feel okay about it. The Grom's... I like the Grom. I'm not the biggest Streltsy stan as they go. Let's do... I did really want to try this thing. It has, like, a crazy range. It doesn't hit very hard, but I think instead what I'll probably do is just take, like, Hailstorm Hawks. Because Hailstorm Hawks should ranch the Walk Cavalry. And then probably stack for... The other thing we could do is take, like, an FU Archie build. So we go, like... we go for, like, a Sniper Lord. This is actually pretty reasonable, honestly. And we need an auxiliary spell if this is no good. So we'll just Ice Maiden's Kiss some stuff, I suppose. And I think Ice Shard is worth it. We'll just try to bully Archie. This also gives us pretty good play into an Artie duel, because we can overcast this and it'll do pretty good damage into the Hell Cannon, even though he can decrew. Okay, so what do we want to do against Walk? I'll reserve a Grom. I'll take a bunch of Griffins in some of these. And I wanted to try more Armored Kossar, so let's try big old pile of ACOS. And then we need to choose if we're playing a sled game or not. Golden Knight I don't hate. That's pretty interesting. I think I want to try some sleds and maybe like one gun. And then we're going to rely on Grom to deal with Artie if he brings it out. And we want a couple of these for their heavy cav. Maybe only 2 of those. And this thing got nerfed to all shit, but it's still... I haven't played with this in a while. It might actually be all right. It's kind of expensive for what it does, but I want to try it. I guess people haven't been running it because Griffin Legion costs less and do more, which kind of makes sense. So maybe what we do is... I also like Ice Guard. but maybe not here because of Burning Head. Maybe. Oh, well, okay, chat. We have to do it. No choice, no choice. I think we actually need some Skirm Cav, because otherwise he can bring out like throwing axes late game and just bully us. And maybe we'll go one Snow Leopard to help tilt the SE fight. Yeah, I like this. Let's give it a shot. Oh, we gotta set the... Okay, the map is set. Yeah, this seems like it could work. We'll find out. We'll find out. I think the ACOS are decent. Margin's capable of doing like a big build-up, which is a little scary. But I think it's fine. We can bully most of their lords with this Sniper Lord. And with a little bit of poke and a Grom and a defensive map, we should have a lot of agency over like when and where the engages happen. And I think our Cav will have the edge late game. So this is all good. And we were intentionally taking 0 good Melkoth's targets in the opener. We'll see if he went for Archie or what he did. And then we kind of want to play to the center point. So we'll play like a weak flank to our safe point. And play stronger to the center. And I guess I'll just play these as like my 2 main forms. So these guys left hotkey, these guys right. And I'll play this right out to the center so we can get in the woods if he's already chipping. And we'll kind of play the guns so that they can cover both points. Yeah, and this seems like a plan. He went pretty tall, so it'll be interesting to see what he did. All right, tell Martin we're ready. Here we go. Hope it works. How much damage will this Lord get? So this is the first spell. This is the second. Is this more efficient overcast? No. It does the same thing. It just has more range. Okay. So we want to undercast it. And we didn't go for the heals or anything. Okay, so we got a bunch of Chaos Warrior great weapons, an Armored Troll, and a Metal Caster with Final Trans. Okay. So we're going to want to run up and bully this caster as early as possible. The Final Trans will be pretty good on our Lord, to be honest. And against what he's taken, I kind of want to get some Cav dominance out. The Searing Doom will be annoying, but what can you do, you know? These are chosen. I guess actually let's get the Artie out. Because he has pretty high value targets. And we'll just start snipping away at the Chosen. That's like an acceptable target for us. And we're going to try to bully his Lord with our magic here. Because it's just very squishy. That's a pretty good opener for us. The Chosen will definitely be a problem. Oops. Tiny brains. Let's deploy this in the slightly more forward position. Okay, so there's very little risk here of a Hell Cannon. Because he spent so much gold already. Like, he's already brought his summons out, so we're not particularly concerned about that. And we're going to expend essentially all of our Lord capacity just harassing the ever-living shit out of this Lord of his. And I don't mind getting like a few shots on the trolls here. We might be able to kill a model or two. And then we'll change our attentions over to the Chosen. And we have to spread these out because of his bombardment. I do like his play here to contain us with his trolls. That's like smart and pretty heads up. He's just doing a build-up. At some point, he'll come in here and kind of body us. I'm going to summon the Skirm Cav first, actually. And we're going to need to manage his health striders probably, because these chosen will just absolutely do work on our front line. Like, we're not going to be able to kill them with our ACOS. And so the sleds are going to have to contribute a significant amount of damage to the chosen, which they're not going to be able to do if his health striders are uncontested. And because we're so deep on shooting on this build, if he pushes up enough, we're just actually going to back up and let him have all 3 points, I think. Because we don't actually have the capacity to take the ground fight against what he's been building. And I'd like to continue dumping these spells. We'll see if he lets us. Yeah, we got a good hit there. And we have to be very careful about his final trans targets, because this is the point in the game where, like, we get overcommitted trying to defend, and he just, like, wrecks us. So we're going to try to play really defensive. And we're going to get a cast off on his lord here. And we might be able to route it. It's too far away. We'll overcast, though, if he gives us another opportunity. And the sleds, oh god. The sleds are going to need to do some work here, because these chosen are money. You guys get up there. You get up there. You get out of there. Oh shit. I think I friendly fired my sled there. Whoops. So he's final trans that, so we need to keep it away from our other units. And I'm just going to overcast to guarantee the cast here, because I think one of these will route. Let's see if we can get a little hit off there. And then Lord will go in to inflict some terror. Yeah, his guy's running. Didn't quite kill it, but got the route on it. And his Lord is now dead, so that's a big game for us. And he's spamming these axes, which I'm not sure I love, to be honest, from him. I think there's a lot of ways that can work out badly for him. And we're going to get our Terror Lord up in the mix now and send these sleds on bombing runs. This actually looks pretty good, chat. We need to be careful, though, because walk is walk and can still come back from pretty weak positions. The Troll's healing can give you, like, this deception that you're much further ahead than you are. You need to get out of there. You run in with that. Let's get a breath off. Especially when you're, like, a shooting heavy setup. You can feel very favored through the initial engage, and then they, like, come back and just roll you. I would like to keep these Strelts up if at all possible. And we need to contain his shooting, because it can do work on our elite cav. You go in there. You Get out of there. Keep the Lord pinwheeling around. More cav. Get in there. Cause some routes. You charge that. Charge that. The Chosen are no joke. Very scary unit. Maybe we can get a nice charge here on these trolls and rout them off. This is awkward. We need to be cycle charging more with these guys. Okay, so the Lord is back. His stuff is going to be more resilient now. I'm interested in getting some mobility on top of his chasers. And it looks like he's going for a big final trans here, maybe? Yeah, he is. So let's get out of that. Everyone run away. That's going to get unsummoned. He has done his job. And let's actually just roll back and compound on taking out these and capturing our save point. Because we've got enough time, I think. And I'll get the sled resummon off. I could chase there, but the problem with that chasing is that he's pretty good at punishing our dive with like cav summons and such. So you really don't want to over chase if you can avoid it. And we can't lose this point or we'll lose the game. So we have to be careful with that. And we're actually need to 3-cap right now. Which is an awkward spot to be in. So we should try to cap this and apply some pressure to his home point. And play like we're going to end up over there. So we need to. And we don't want to allow... I'm going to summon 1 infantry. Because we've got a bit of time. And our cav summons are mostly exhausted. I actually need to get over here. So we'll try to cap his home point with just these. We'll get a cast off on his Lord. And then we'll send everything over here. And if Martin's heads up, I think he can probably tempo us out right now. By just running everything onto the point. We'll see if he plays it that heads up or not. And I'm just going to Desperation summon this Capture Cat. Because I really need to hold this point. When he gets it, we're going to be in a lot of trouble because he's going to get it. We can't stop that. How are we doing? So we're not going to have power reserves for another cast. I'll see if my sled can take out his Lord. That would help us out here quite a bit. And we're going to need to summon Cav to go to his far point and hope that our Lord can grind out this point. And that might actually get a rout on his Lord. Those are Chosen, unfortunately. It's Chosen our chonky boys. I'm actually going to unsummon this Cav because we need more Cav. And then we'll chase all this stuff off. And I do think we're going to get his Lord routed here. So let's try to run in and just cap that. And now we just need to summon stuff as fast as possible. Okay, so we're going to route everything off this point. These need to chase those units so he doesn't get like a good rally. And it's going to come down to, can we bully the Chosen off of this point or not? and we'll see if he sticks his lord out. I'm definitely going to make an attempt on it. Okay, so we recap these points. This will be pretty close. I want Cav, but I don't have the time, so I'm just going to summon the mobility that I have. Be the mobility you have, not the mobility you wish you had. Okay, so these go in on that. These go in on that. You guys get in there. We really don't have a lot of time. Maybe we can get a terror out here. Also, the Chosen will just kill our stuff. They're, like, no joke. You guys get in there. You get over there. And I think we have enough cap weight that we can actually just kind of inch out this point right now. The Capture Cat is doing work. Love the Capture Cat. Maybe we can get a terror out on that. I think he didn't go for any Hellstriders, which is kind of weird. And now that we have the points and we need to hold them, I'm going to send this one ranged. Okay, there we go. So we got a shatter on his lord, which now puts us in a timer where we can get him fully out of play, and that'll just do work for us. Like, we're probably going to get the game if once this thing routes off. Whew, that was close. That was razor close. So we definitely didn't have quite enough cav. And our lord did work. Our lord did all kinds of work. Capture Cat and Lord, get in there. Chariot, run away. Cav, countercharge. You guys go there. We'll send one of these over to secure that point in case he goes for, like, a back cap. And there we go. That was a pretty good game. Round 2, Kislev walk. Martin. Whew. Sweaty palms. Sweaty palms. Yeah, I can see the argument for the Akshina here. I think the net's really powerful. His opener was pretty good against what we did. Like, the mass Chaos Warriors and Chosen are very good into our overcommitment to... Oh my god, the sleds kicked ass. The sleds just tore through him. Holy shit. I guess that's because he didn't have mobility. The Corn Chosen are fun. I guess that's why he didn't have mobility. Grom also did really well, got 1500 and unsummoned, and the Capture Cat actually won the game by providing very, very fast cap weight at exactly the time we needed it. Okay, I see. So he was just going on, like, Chosen mobility kit. Although he didn't use all his marks. They get 5 marks and he spent 4. That's kind of weird. I guess it was a spend thing. I did like his choice of axes to pressure our calves late. Like, that was pretty nice, and I think it worked out well for him. It was mostly just, like, he needed to play that Lord more carefully. Interesting. The Dervishes are good against Hellstriders. I didn't actually know that. Like, I would have thought that the Hellstriders just clapped them. That's surprising. GG. Okay, so we got a win for the good guys. And I think we can play against our opponent who is waiting in Vermin League real fast. Nope, nope. Nope. It's kind of funny. The tournament was, like, running slow, and now it's, like, precision clockwork. 0-1. We win with Kislev. Into walk. Warriors of Chaos. Kislev. Very good. That was a good round. Having fun here. For folks watching, if you haven't subscribed already, go hit that button right now. It means a lot. Keeps the channel going, and I think we're at about 170 more subs till we actually get some money for this, which would be sweet. Enough said on that. And I think B6 will probably advance the event now. Martin's asking about how his lord died so fast. The bound spell also does good damage. Yeah, Martin was a little... I think he might not have seen that particular lord configuration a lot before. So he was a little surprised by the damage output, which was to our benefit. Still a pretty close game. I'll have to think about the front line there, since the armored Cossars didn't really do their job against Chaos Warriors. We might want to like have some of them, but reserve them if they're on a more skirmishy or chaffy build, and then go for like Zargard or something else. Yeah, I was just reading some gamer drama. There's always more gamer drama. Oh boy. Okay, we're playing against Mr. Max. Max, who is a phenomenal VC player. Mr. Maximillionaire. And we're gonna ban his VC. Or are we? We could just give him VC and get some practice in. Do we want to play against Max at his best or at his worst? Is a key question. I'm gonna do him a favor and help him diversify his faction pool, because that seems like a chill thing to do. What maps are we looking at? Carcass, Ambush, Bloodgrove. Ready on draft. All right, here we go. 2 dervishes, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to try that. The Hellstriders are very strong. All right, yeah, we're gonna help Max in his diversification of his faction pool. Just making life easy for him, you know? Oh, he takes the Wood Elves, huh? Okay, okay. What do we want to do here? What do we want to do here? We can do some Tomb Kings. I like some Tomb Kings. And perhaps... I don't actually love Kislev into Wood Elves that much. The Wood Elves are pretty squirrely. GC can do all right. I like GC. I also don't mind Tzeentch into them. Yeah, Tzeentch is fun. Trying to do some fun stuff. We're doing Tomb Kings more as like a deterrent. Ooh, Coast, interesting. Okay. What else in Coast? What do we want into that? What I actually want to do is play Beastman. So, what will provide the most effective deterrent? Or I want to play Tzeentch. We'll throw out the Beastman to give him like something to chew on, and then hopefully that'll result in Tzeentch actually getting picked. Maximillionaire. I'll grab our draft matrix. Yeah, this seems pretty reasonable to me. He banned my ogre. Everybody's banning my ogres. They're onto it. I've been an ogre main since launch, and not everybody identifies this because they don't get like played that much. They're like usually banned, and they've been OP for a lot of patches. But lately, folks have been banning my ogres a lot. I do love me some ogres. I think Max, you're first. It looks like. Oh. Did they actually specify how the map ban works? I don't think so. That's kind of funny. Banning the pattern, pick your faction, then maps. Ah, I see. All right. We figured it out. What do I want to ban? So I think I can beat all of these with Beastmen. And Zinch is okay into most of them too, actually. Okay, I'll ban TKVP. I don't want to play TKVP that much. Cool. We figured it out. After some deep thinks, the ordering. So what happened was Max accidentally sent the lobby flipped around. So I thought I was second player, but actually I'm first. And we're not going to redraft. It doesn't matter. So I'm just banning first. What else do we want to ban here? Honestly, I'm like kind of fine with most of these matchups. And we can play on Carcass, Ambush, or Blood Grove. Yeah, he doesn't want to. I think he was just taking Wood Elves away from me. So Zinch, Veep, Tomb King's Dark Elves. Let's ban Teasy. Although I think I can actually win Zinch Dark Elves. Ooh, oh, big stretch. Let's ban. How worried about Coast am I? I actually think I can probably beat Coast with Zinch. I want to try. Let's ban BMVP and BMDL. I want to try playing Zinch, so I'm not going to ban the Zinch matchups. I think that'd be the most interesting thing. We'll play hard in the games, but definitely draft to get testing learnings and such. Here's our, I don't know if you guys can see this. Here's our dog just being like a totally normal dog, sitting like a dog and not a person. The wife just said that to me. It's just chilling. What a strange creature. Why does he do that? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, the Belchers are really scary. The other ogre stuff is pretty scary too. They have so many good stats and they're like pretty mobile. Their combination of like effective damage output and speed and melee is like basically unique. Or like, you know, it's the all up health, damage, and speed together. Ogres like have the highest spot on that frontier, which is pretty scary if you can actually use the speed. Like they're not the fastest faction, but they're the fastest faction that has stats. Ban VP Zinch and Zinch Dark Elves. Okay. So we can have, oh, he banned the Zinch. Okay, we can have Beastmen Wood Elves or Tomb King's Dark Elves. Interesting. These are both pretty good matchups, honestly. Let's play BM Wood Elf. I wanna fuck around with the chariots. So I'm gonna do that. And then for maps, let's ban Imperial Ambush. Because it's a pretty good defensive map. Okay. Beastie Men. Not the Beastie Boys, the Beastie Men. We will now thrash Max for taking Wood Elves in a matchup that is not good for them. Just a thorough drubbing is in order, I believe. We can take Morgar, but he's just so meh. I've actually kind of been liking Beast Lord on Chariot. With nothing. Just as like a very cheap Lord, where if he dies, you can resummon him. It's not clear to me that the additional stats on Kazrak are actually worth the what you pay for it. And the Beastman units are so crazy that I actually kind of like this Lord. I'd like to keep trying this and seeing how it does. Okay, we'll play Bloodgrove. Cool. It's pretty neutral, good map. And so we take a bunch of screening tools, and I like to have, in case they go for a dragon, I like to have a reserve Gorbel. And then always a fuck ton of Sentis, because Sentis are daddy. And I want to try Sons of Goros a little more. But what really gives the Wood Elves a hard time is some Razor Gores. These things. These Oinkers slap out for the blood of the Wood Elves. A little more infantry. Maybe one dog for chasing stuff. And like one axe for containing their shooting lords and stuff. A couple Ungor Raiders to counterfire things. They're like a little weak, but they can trade up quite a bit in some situations. And if he goes for a Durthu, we're just gonna like not fight the Durthu. That's the classic how to fight a Durthu tactic is don't fight a Durthu. And maybe we start a Chariot actually. I don't despise that. Maybe we start like a little bit of Cav so we have some opening agency. Yeah, I like this. And then we go for probably a Shadowcaster. It's just so annoying against the Wood Elves. This little guy can just waddle up, doesn't need a Chariot. And let's have some fun. Let's just take a fuck ton of Chariots. I like this concept. Maybe two of those, and then a Spear. Although we do actually... I'd like to have more than 0... oh, we already maxed out these, so we don't get any Corn Gores. This is just if we have to, like, grind out a Durthu. Yeah, I like this. Cool. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, I was gonna do that. We'll see. I've been kind of busy because we have the puppy. I need to talk to N about the timing. I don't have that much time to stream. And a best of 9 takes kind of a long time. So I would need to, like, break it up, probably. I told him I'd do it on Thursday, and I'm realizing I might not be able to do it on Thursday. But I think that'd be fun. I always like to play, like, high-level competitive matches over a long best of. Ed will beat me, but I'll give him a run for it, most likely. It's the, like, amateurs versus professionals thing. I don't have the practice bandwidth that Ent has. Okay, so he has 11, which definitely can allow for a full skirmish build. So we need to be careful. And this is a matchup where if we get a good engage, we typically win. Like, our stuff is a lot more effective on the trades. So the biggest thing we need to do is make sure that we don't get caught in a bad engage right at the start. So I'm just, even though I could Vanguard up and instacap, I'm actually going to deploy a little more conservatively in order to make sure that we can get a good engage position. And then I think if I can, I'm going to start these fuckers hidden, which I think I can on this map. And if I can't fully hide them, I'm going to yeet them into the forest as fast as possible. Yeah, so I can't completely hide them. But he might not notice. He might not notice. It's always the best strategies are the ones where you're like, I really hope he's not paying attention. Okay, so this looks like a beastie deploy. We'll actually put the less shootable things closer to the center. All right. Yeah. Beat him 5-0. That's the way to go. Ready. LHF. And we basically, you know, this is like your, okay, so he's got double dragon, a Melkoth caster, a backline of Glade Guard, and these are regular Glade Guards, so they're not going to be able to effectively damage a chariot. Okay. And this is a Glady, so she's got a net. We need to be careful with our Chariot Lord. And because of the dragons, I'm very interested in summoning ranged units. So I'm going to summon a bunch of raiders, because I think these will do the best job containing his shooting, or containing his dragons. And then I'll just try to counterfire, or I'll try to shut down his... we need to be careful now. He can get a catch with that net on our chariots or something pricey. So we need to be a little bit careful with those units. And we'll try to entice the dragons over. Oh god, we got to keep that away from the Melkoth caster. With the chariots. And then that'll give us an opportunity to dive his backline pretty uncontested with our other stuff. And I'm just going to run my lord up. I'm going to make him pick a side here on like what he wants to counter. So I'm going to run my lord up. Is this the Wild Hunters? Okay. So now we want to get our caster out. Run away. Get the chariots up. I was just using my lord there as a bait to reduce his shooting impact on the initial approach. You guys get in there. You run into the back line. You go fight that. You plow through. You get out of there. You go fight there. And we really just need to keep the Ungor Raiders alive. They don't need to, like, be the most efficient damage piece in the world. They just need to make it so that he can't go hog wild with his stuff. We'll try to get a Melkoth off on that. Shoot the Lord. And I think my next summon actually wants to be... Let's get this chariot in there. This is interesting. You run away. You get in on those. You run back. Yeah, I'll get another chariot out, sure. You guys push up on that. You push up on that. You get in there. And we're trying to keep the Ungors alive. Well, we also... use our chariots effectively. Okay. Now I'm going to take this fight and send in the chariots. You run away, you get some shots on that. And the initial engagement went pretty badly for us, actually. But we do have better reinforcements than him. So that might be all right. You get in there. You get out. Chariot, go kill that. You push over. And this might be one of those games where we need to win on points, honestly. Because that engagement, you kind of have to make a judgment call based on how the engage went. And that engage did not go well. So it's possible that we get dominated on the value. Like, basically, these dragons are at a significant probability of grinding us out. And so we're going to try to triple cap so that we can potentially beat him on the points game. And let's see if we can just snipe this caster real quick. And take out some of these backline archers. And then we'll keep summoning Cav. you will keep spam casting on those. You get out of there, you get out of there, put some shots on that. And if he wants to kill our caster, that's fine. It doesn't have that much health. And the effort to protect it is going to exceed its value. So sometimes you want to just, like, let him kill the footcaster, and that means the rest of your spells are going to be a little bit delayed, and that's acceptable. I'd like to... His cav is kind of the priority here because it's the most killable thing. Let's get out of there. And I'll debuff that just because our caster's in significant risk of going down. Okay, so we've got the points, I think. And now we just want to summon our good units. Very aggressively. Okay, so we took out... We're doing pretty good damage there. We don't want to let the dragon get too much time fighting our lord. Although he's quite tough. The priority is still his cav. And we're in pretty deep. Deeper than we'd like to be over there. Because he can summon stuff. So we'll run away here. We need to protect our lord. You kill that. You go try to peel. And now throwing axes will be good because there's no shooting left to contest. You get out of there. So I think we tripled. Yeah, so we just got 3 points, so we tripled, but only recently. And he's definitely going to be up quite a bit on the value frontier. So we're going to need to win on points for sure. So what that means is summoning in good units. I'm going to bring out the bull now because he's got these 2 fully intact dragons that represent a pretty good percentage of his, like, fighting potential. And I think it'll trade pretty well with any kind of support. We'll run with the Lord. Get some good damage there. Support these. I'd also like an axe here, but I think the bull is going to do better. And I'm going to overcast here because this is a critical fight. You get in there. Lord, get over there. And this is a long wait, but I think the Doom Bull is going to be worth it, or the Gore Bull is going to be worth it. I hope so, because it'll absolutely clap either of these SEs, and I think it'll actually do okay in a 2v1 situation. His healing is certainly a concern. We're gonna dive our chariot back because the critical fight is happening right now, and so if he wants to run back to snipe the chariot, he's gonna have to pull key resources off. Is that a regular? Okay, the chariot can probably take that. And we need to be a little bit careful here with our lord. But I don't think that the game pressure is such that... Okay, here we go. Oh, these are in the air, okay. That's the problem. Oh god, oh god. Oh god. Awooga, awooga. Let's see how tough this lord is. You get on his lord. Our lord needs to run like hell. And I'm going to debuff here. Our lord is stuck, which is a problem. You get in there, you run back. You fight those, you fight those. Lord, run. You fight. You get out. Our lord did a pretty good job there. We'll try to route that one off. You guys go fight there. You shoot what you can. You shoot what you can. Get in there on the dryads. All right. And now we need to get our Lord the fuck out of here. Why is he not moving? He's not netted. There we go. You go peel. Oh, shit. Looks like he got stuck on a couple of cav models, unfortunately. I think we're in trouble. We'll see if he's able to get the Lord right now. I think he will be. If he takes out our Lord, we're in trouble. Because we're down on value. Although we have enough points that we might be able to Helm's Deep it. Not totally clear. I'm going to try to pick off his Lord here. Nope. No go. So he's chasing here, which might be a little risky for him because we're going to be able to reinforce the far side. I'm going to just get these out so they don't get like chain routed, and focus on reinforcing this side if I can. Gorbel, get on the Lord. Summon these because we don't have time. And I think Max is going to get us, but I don't know that. These are going to try to cross the court and go center. And I'm just going to suicide this on his Lord, because it'll delay his Lord arriving and assisting other parts of the game. And this is bad. Losing this point is very bad. And I think I'll resummon this Lord because he's got terror elements. And so we're not going to be able to fight over these points without the Lord. And I think what we have to do is cap this point back. So we'll summon the Lord and send it in on his Inf, and then we'll try to like draw stuff away on the other side. Cap this point and then like desperation hold it for a while. It's not a like great plan, to be honest. Okay, you get in there, but it might work. Crazier things have worked. You stay on the Lord. You get in there. You go apply some pressure to these dryads. Got a little bit of lag. Okay, so now it's like Vanguard summons for days. And I'm going to use this Lord to try to help cap this point. And maybe we can take out his caster right now. Run back here. Run there. And just get whatever we can on this point, basically. You run there. You guys get in there. Okay. So we're applying some pressure to the point, but I don't think we're going to be able to take it. Because he's got a lot of shit in play over here. And we'll send this stuff over there to give him something to think about. And how much WOM do we have? Not enough for it to be worth the caster summon. And we've got some spears coming in over here, which can do some work. And maybe he won't see this raider, and we'll get like a Lord pick. I kind of doubt it. We're in the position in the game where we need to make desperation plays. Like it's very bad for us. So we need to get something like he doesn't pay attention and we pick off his Lord going. That was an interesting build. I actually kind of liked the double dragon play there. It definitely gave us a hard time. And I would have really liked a Khorngor or two here. I think that the other Gors were okay, but the Khorngors would have done a better job contesting his mobility. So that's like a note to self for the future to try to bring some of those. And over here, I guess we might be able to like get some sneaky bullshit, and like, there's no way we're gonna cap this our save point anymore. So maybe. All right, I think Max got us that time. The dragons were a good counter to the chariots. He definitely lined up, and he was like pretty light on the shooting. So that was well played by Max. GG. Other gore. Yeah. No, I think I'll have to look at that. I think the chariots didn't do that well, which is what brought us down. Yeah. And the besties were fine. Our lord was fine. I think we needed the Gorbel sooner, and probably some axes sooner to... Actually, the second chariot did pretty well. Probably some axes sooner to help contest. Well played. Because I think that, yeah, the dragons just got too much free reign. And I think the rest of it was not really that big of an issue. It's just the dragons plus the healing on the dragons got us. So we needed... He did get pretty good value on the Glade Guard, though. I think we needed the Gorbel out sooner, and maybe a better Duelist Lord, or some axes in play, and then it would have been fine. And probably some more spears in the reinforcements. Because with the dragons assisting the mobility game, the Wild Riders were doing a little bit too well. And we were able to clear through his infantry. And then it was like dragons. Yeah. The chariots are excessive. I was just like messing around. We have some, we can give up some and still top 8 the event. So it's a good time to like experiment with stuff. Sad moves, yeah. I liked the double dragon tech there. That was nice. I think if we have, I didn't look at how the caster did. Let's just do a quick replay on this. I think if we have Traderkin, somebody's buying a house. Just taking a look. Where is this? Have you listed out what you are looking for? It's mostly about meeting the most important things to you. His friend asking, should they buy a house? Yeah, the double dragon is interesting. This is cause for some thought. Yeah. I think the lack of... I had the throwing axes. I just didn't summon them because I thought I'd be able to screen with the raiders, but the raiders didn't do enough damage because Max's movement was good. I'm just watching the movement on the dragons. And he's got a nice pocket on his ranged. Yeah, so our chariots weren't really able to do a ton. Because the dragons and cav and stuff took them out. This one did all right, but it's not enough to justify this pricey unit. And he was able to route too many things. It's really the healing value, like the Earth Bloods on both dragons. Also, I wasn't able to quite route the Branch Wraith here, even though I went in on it. And if I was able to get that route, that would have made a big difference. Because like we're behind on value, and then he's also got the Earthblood value here. I think we made a good call to take these points and hold. We probably could have played the right a bit more aggressively to hold it for longer. And then the Lord getting caught here was awkward. I was impressed with how long it lived despite getting caught, but something weird happened here. So I'm like, you can actually see it's got a command to move out. I guess just the masses blocking. Oh, it might have the thing where they're like stuck to it. Like right here is the weird spot, right? So for a couple seconds there, it was not running even though they were behind it. And then it kind of got caught there again. So sort of janky animations on the getting away. I think we're actually okay if the Lord didn't get picked off here. Like if this was a little bit further ahead and just runs out here, we're going to have enough to hold out, to tempo out. And like we should be behind on value when we did a spawn dive like that. Also, summoning the Gorbel was maybe a mistake for that reason. Like, it was slower to get out and protect the Lord. The butchers are not bad, yeah. They tend to make us really tall. It's like hard to have much of a wide ground game when you've got the butchers. So I tend to prefer more cab and other units, but it's hard to argue with the butchers. Oh, we're playing against Mr. Charix. Mr. Charix. Okay, okay. Got some hands. Let's get this going. So whoever wins this one will definitely top 4. Guest, and we are banning the shit out of hey the Wood Elves because it's Charix. He'll probably go Zinch. Charix has a big range. He likes Zinch and High Elves a lot. He likes lizards. He's very formidable on Zinch. Charix has like the super zoomer micro. I'm always afraid of the Charix micro. Wood Elves, insta-ban, ban, and then depending on what he takes for his first pick, we'll react with our bans accordingly. Oh. Okay, he bans our Beastmen, takes Tomb Kings, makes sense. What do we want here? What do we want? I like Counts, but not that early into the TK. Let's go like Kislev and I really want to take Ogres because I haven't got to play them today. They're not great into the Tomb Kings, but I'll take them anyways because I want to play some Ogres. So we'll see how that goes. Charix will probably go Zinch. Oh, Norska, interesting. Okay, so the Ogres are no good here, but VC actually will match up quite well. Like they should beat Tomb Kings, and they definitely beat Norska pretty hard. There's always the Charix Horror Zoomer Micro. You gotta. I don't love Norska into Tomb Kings. I think I like the Tomb Kings side of that. Brithonia. All right. What do we ban here? What do we ban here? I'm going to need to get a quick coffee refill after this. Kislev, Ogres, BC, Tomb Kings, Norska, Brett, TKVC. All right, yeah, he doesn't like the TKVC, makes sense. Ban OGNR, TKNR. Those matchups are rough. Norska into Ogres is one of the most lopsided matchups of the game right now. Oh, I see. Yeah. I agree, Chicken. That makes sense to me. Charix is thinking. Big Charix think he thinks. Go join his lobby. Actually, short Charix think he thinks he's drafted. Charix wants to play. Shit. Invalid game code. Here's this one. Charix 1. Cannot join your lobby. Okay, he banned Tomb Kings, Kislev, and Brett Ogres. All right. Tomb Kings, Kislev, Brett Ogres. So we've got Brett Kislev, Brett VC, Norska Kislev, Norska VC. I want Norska VC, so let's go. Let's ban. And I don't mind Brett Kislev that much, to be honest. Let's ban Brett VC and I also don't really mind Norska Kislev, to be honest. So let's have Norska Kislev be an option. So we'll ban Brett, VC, and how is Brett into Kislev? I actually have no idea. I think if we go for like the Kislev SEs, we should win. I don't think they're that good against the Kislev SEs. If we have a way to beat their archers and we have SEs, they're probably fucked. Let's ban Brett, VC, and... But I want to practice Kislev, and Brett is less meta, so let's Brett Kislev. Yeah. We'll do that. So he can take Norska into VC or Kislev. See the maps. Round 4, Scalender's Cave, Dunes of Cain, Dust Bowl. Oh, Dust Bowl, lol. Oh, he wants to play Norska VC. All right, well, get fucked. I think this is pretty easy. We'll find out. Maybe Charix has the bullshit brewed up. We need to be careful about Final Trans specifically. He bans Dunes. Ban Dust Bowl. So we'll play on Scalender's Cave. I think this is pretty rough for him. I think this is pretty rough for him. Let's see. So I think I want to... This isn't really a situation where I want to blob. So it's probably Kemmler or just a spam caster. I think I like a really cheap spam caster on a Hellsteed, so it's hard to catch. And we're just using this to take out his backline, essentially. Oh, that's so pricey. Yeah, we'll just do that. That's fine. Cut that too, maybe. Yeah, it seems reasonable. I could also go Gaze instead of Invo. I don't love Invo lately, to be honest. It's kind of potato. And then we want some mass for Giants. We want some good front line to grind through the Norska front line. We want our typical pile of zombies. I think we do want White Kings here. So they still, you know, even after their nerfs, they grind pretty well, and they'll help deal with any good backline stuff he's got. I'm going to go 2 cheap corpse cards just to minimize the impact of Final Trans. Some terror sources to bring in and the reinforcements. Probably a Mortis, so we can power through a blob fight if it comes to it. And then the rest of the stuff is interesting. These don't do that well into their Skin Wolves, but I think they're just needed. And bats do very well into Skin Wolves. Maybe we go a little more of our Lance Cav. And then in the starter, I guess I can just load up more on... Oh, I like Crypt Ghouls for fighting Skin Wolves quite a bit. Maybe no Mortis. Well, now we have to take this. The quintessential perfect spend. And if he goes for a bunch of champs, we do want some counterplay into that. I like having a lot of Cryptors here because they have too many ways. No, I don't love Blood Knights here. They're kind of slow, and they're so pricey. I can take one just to see how it is. I don't take Blood Knights very much, but Charix is just like so Johnny on the spot with his micro. It's pretty prone to getting picked off. I guess if we just load up on Graveguard, we get a perfect spend, so therefore it can't be wrong. And then we can cut one of these. Oh, chat. Look at that. Can't possibly be wrong. We do kind of want some Crypt Ghouls for fighting of Skin Wolves. But this all seems like a pretty reasonable plan to just like slow grind. And then we use the Karen Wraith as our terror source. And it seems fine. It's really just like, what do we want for Skin Wolves late? Like, how much do we want to lean into? Actually, this works pretty well. Yeah, I like this. I think that Fellbats are actually really good against Norska. They tend to have stuff route off. Yeah, let's try this. This all seems fine. Sharks, we're ready. GLHF. Yeah, this seems fine. In case he goes for a mammoth pile, I might actually want to. Yeah, let's get a Vargulf in there, and we can probably start the Vargulf to get some early game control. I like the speed on the Vargulfs quite a lot. And then we'll just like play it passively if it's not good. I'm just trying to figure out how to fit the Golfy boy in here. Oh, I'm stupid. I completely forgot spears. We do need some spears. Lol. I was like, man, this looks like a weird. There's like less zombies and stuff than there usually are. In that case, I think we'll reinforce the Gulf, and we're gonna play it only if he isn't that well set up for it. Yeah. And we can cut that. And maybe we'll upgrade one of the carts to a lodestone. And what can we do here? 1,000. I do really like Graveguard against Norska. They just grind so well. So if we downgrade a cart and then we take this, that works out pretty well. And we can cut a bat, one of these, and a bat. And this works. Throw a chevron on something. Good to go. Good shit. Yeah, I just had to fix the spend there. I do like having the Vargulf in the event of like Mammoth spam. It matches up pretty well into the Mammoth, and even if they don't have it, it's like a perfectly acceptable mid-game terror summon. And it's fast enough not to get like totally caught up in Skin Wolves easily. So you like to see that. Yeah, it seems like a pretty good matchup for us. Hopefully the round will end quickly. I think we drafted fast enough. So we would like to have like a relatively large army before we engage, if at all possible, because we benefit from our global heals. And also, like, if Charix is shooting a lot, we don't want to take too much damage from his shooting. So to that end, if we can capture the point in the trees, if he's on a shootier build, we will. But otherwise, we're kind of fine just like letting him have all 3 points for a while and then pushing back. This is a big map, so we don't want to push that concept too hard. Because if we get like really far behind, we're susceptible to getting ground out on the cap points. And we also want to deploy like a little wider than you typically would with VC, because there's a moderately high chance that he's taken a final transcaster. Sometimes they'll go for like a rust spam or something else, but final trans is just like so dirty against the VC that it's something that always has to be on your mind, that they're ready for that. Like, it's the anti-blob spell against the blob faction. Hard to pass up on that. And we'll get our zombies out here. And a lot of the time you want the spears as like a missile shield, but in the case where you have a lot of Graveguard, you kind of don't. They're really like, you want them to live, because the Graveguard don't really have a problem with getting shot. And so you want the spears to like hang around, so they're alive at the point where you're fighting against lots of like mobility units. And that means that summoning crypt horrors and like countercharging stuff to keep the mass from dealing with them is generally going to be like an effective tactic. And let's play the wooded side of the map. We're gonna, if he doesn't have final trans, I'll play this a lot tighter. but I'm going to play it pretty wide until I see what he's up to. Okay, so this goes hotkey 5. You start like there because it's the slowest thing in the formation. This goes hotkey 4. Move it over here. Got that on 2. Okay, ready to rock. Jelly Jeff. Just move that over there. Cool. That's a zombie pizza. Let's go get him. We'll see what he does. Jarx is pretty tall. GLHF. Okay, so he's got Throg, War Shrine Mammoth, Final Trans, and Bombardment. Okay. And a bunch of backline Hunter Javs. Cool. So we're primarily concerned with containing the Mammoth and preventing the Mammoth Rampage style victory. And we would like Cryptors for that, even though they're pretty weak against his backline shooting, because we've got so much infantry over here that we're not really going to have a problem getting through. And I don't think the Berserkers beat Graveguard or do anything even close to that. So I'm just going to capture this side objective and kind of slowly set up for an encircle against his Hunter Javs. And Charix is the Zoomer Micro Fiend, so you can't really rely on him not kiting. We're also at, we have to be careful. He definitely can kill our Lord with Final Trans and Throg and such. So you always got to be like a little bit wary of like what the Lord is standing next to. And we don't want a bad engage here where only part of our army is fighting the whole Norska army. So we're gonna slow our roll a little. Pull these things back. And whenever we can, we want to overcast the summon, because the overcast form is gonna crush. Okay, we'll get this out. And you are looking for a good wind, but don't have it just yet. And I do want to get the oh god. All right, let's see if we can run out here and get a summon off on these. And because he's choosing to snipe this, I'm just going to take the breaths I can get. And we need to be careful here that he doesn't like just pick off our corpse cart early. These guys should waddle up there. You run away. Serpentine. You go fight there. You screen that. You get away. That's good. You can fight that. And he actually doesn't have good stuff to stop this Cav, so I'm going to send in Cav. You get out of there. You get in on that. You are going to do something. I wonder if the Berserkers actually beat our stuff now. That would be a change, but maybe they do. This needs to get away. You run into that. You run into that. Overcast summon. The summon is dirty onto these guys. Fight there. You push into those. And now I want some bats to apply pressure to this back line. Nothing's really that deeply in need of a heal. This Cav needs to get out of there ASAP. Oh, damn. He really got the Cav. That's rough. We'll do an undercast heal to get the global passive off. Oh, man, if the Berserkers clap the Graveguard now, that would be really good to know. You hit Berserkers hard. Ooh, interesting. He's got the dragon. Okay. You guys go get on that. You push onto those. You run away from the scary dragon. I think we're winning the front line now. Zombies, go get over there. You get out of there. And I think it's time for the overcast heal right here. And we'll get these guys out of combat. I'm going to summon the Vargulf next. Actually, whoops, let's get some cav out. So I think that was a final trans. Yeah, that was a final trans. Okay, so final trans is on cooldown. That's good. And bats will chase things, as bats do. I'm actually fine with him chasing our lord with this. And I'm going to get the Vargulf out next, so we have some terror. Okay, so that was good. You get out of there. You guys apply pressure to that. I'm going to get an OC heal at some point here. You guys fight there. And I'll send a ghoul out so we don't get under too much time pressure here. I'd like to get this lord in and get some summons. You chase over there. That would be pretty nice. Here, let's get this out of there. And get another infantry unit. I really need to summon that that Vargulf, but it's hard to find like a hole where we don't need to summon anything because there's so much pressure on us. We'll run this over here. Run that out. Dodge the spell. Okay, so these guys should pretty comfortably be able to take that point. And I'm just going to overcast this heal, even though these aren't the best units, because I need to not lose that point. And here we're going to do the bats beat those guys thing. We'll get a charge there. And it looks like he's summoning Skirm Cav. Okay. So you guys get over there. And we're not at a point where we need to be too worried just yet about the points. I want to get this out for mass reasons. Keep that going. And I'm going to try to snipe his caster here, I think. Okay. So the next summon is going to be the Vargulf. Oh, actually, bats don't beat skin wolves. Okay, that's good to know. It ain't no carrion. I think they trade efficiently still, but win they do not. You guys get out of there. You get out of there. Get some damage on that. You go try to pick that off. Okay, so now we can get the Vargulf out. And this should be able to bully some of these SEs. We'll see if we can push the caster off here. So that needs to get over there. And if he wants to summon skirms, I'll just spam this over there. And let's try to finish this off. Oh, God. Yeah, the Charix is crushing us on the Cav duel. Just doing Charix things. Charix is so good at Cav duel. Get a summon there. And more spears, I think. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is no good. Self-heal. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, chat. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. That's a big fucking problem. Alright, well, that's going to have to get resummoned at some point. We could probably play through that. but it's starting to look a little bit rough. He's got his skirm caps coming in. This map's a pretty good one for the Norska side. It's very big. And Charix knows how to play these kinds of things like a pro. Our Lord's not going to be up for a while, so we can summon once here. And we need to be a little bit careful with this Vargolf, but I think I'm okay with him targeting that instead of our infantry there. However, these encroaching jabs I'm less okay with. Those are going to wreck me. I think we have to win this center fight to win the game. So I'm going to stay committed to it. We'll try to get those on these. We might be able to get a sneaky turnaround here if he's not smart with his jabs. So we've got the Vargolf on the other side of his jabs. And if he fires volleys off, we can steal it by friendly firing onto the Mammoth. But Charix is smart, unfortunately. And I'll summon one zombie here for a tempo pick on that side. And then we'll get our Lord out next. And I'm gonna try to bring down the Mammoth, because I think the Sternsmen have an okay chance to grind out, and then as soon as we can, we're gonna overcast a heal here. But they're not gonna be able to beat the Mammoth, so that's the damage priority. Get a big heal off there. You guys cap over there. You stay on that. I think he's got us, but maybe not. It ain't over. It just looks very bad. So now we need probably some cav. Very awkward against the skin wolves, but what can you do? Because we don't have mobility presence without it. Okay, so that he brought his caster back and cast a big final trans. I think we're cooked. I think we're cooked. All right. Well, GG. Nicely done, Charix. All right. Well, that's it for me today. Thanks everybody for watching. I had fun. Always good to get an afternoon tournament in. Had some really good games. Some great opponents. I'm not in love with that caster kit here. I think if I had the missile spell, this probably would have worked a little bit better because I would have had good counter poke onto his stuff. But here we didn't have enough agency and enough tools to deal with his large SEs. And he was able to beat our cav pretty comfortably when it was relevant. So maybe like better poke spells to take out jabs and SEs, and a little bit more mass and a little bit less of like a dedicated slow moving front line. See you later, nerds.